Welcome to the Chef's Kitchen Healthy Fine Dining Series. I'm your host, Nicole Gaffney, and we're here today at the Easton Public Market with St. Luke's University Health Network, where we're bringing together doctors and chefs to create healthy new menu options to be featured at their restaurants. Joining me in the kitchen today is Chef Mike Pichetto of Full of Crepe, along with Dr. Sanjiv Agarwala. Welcome, both of you.
Thank you.
Great to have you guys in the kitchen today. What are we making, Chef?
Today we're going to be pan-searing some day-boat scallops with a sweet pea and pecorino romano risotto with a watercress and candy cane beet salad on top.
Sounds delicious and perfect for spring.
Perfect for spring.
Let's get started.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to start over here. Do you mind prepping some beets for me?
Sure.
All right.
Tell me how.
Now, do you like to cook normally?
No. I love to eat, but I can't cook.
I love your honesty.
I'm a very good dishwasher, though. I do that very well.
That's good. We'll keep you here.
We always need that. So we're going to just cut the tops off of these. These are candy cane beets.
Love them.
Yep, they have a great, really nice color. Nice red and white inside,
Right.
and they don't bleed like other beets do.
So you don't get your hands
So you
as
don't
red.
get your hands
That's
as red.
nice.
Yeah. So we're just going to peel these up.
It's like a surgeon.
Exactly. So you know a thing or two about that.
Yeah.
It's not too much different at all. I
No
wouldn't know.
scalpels,
I've never performed
No
surgery.
No
but-
scalpels.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to get those peeled up, and we're going to start with the risotto over here.
Now, do you want Doc to peel those for you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
You
With
need
this
a
or-
tutorial?
With the peeler.
Yeah, I might
You're
have
just
to
going
get
to come
a
in.
little
He said he doesn't
instruction
cook.
here. Yeah, so
You know, watch your fingers and just
All right.
take the outsides off.
Watch the fingers is key.
Watch
Yes,
the fingers
for
is
sure.
key, especially not so much for me, more for you.
Right. Yeah.
And then just take the outsides
Okay.
off, and then we'll
All right, I'm gonna give it
we'll
a-
slice
give it
those
a
up later.
shot.
Perfect.
Right, let's see.
So now we're going to move over to the risotto.
Okay.
So for the risotto, I'm going to start this with some olive oil. You can use any fat. Risotto is real versatile. You can pretty much add anything to it. It's like kind of like pasta in that regard.
Right.
So we're going to get our oil hot, and we're going to add a couple tablespoons of minced shallots,
All right.
and we're going to sweat them up. We don't want to brown them because we don't want to off-color the risotto.
Okay.
We don't want anything to be bitter in there.
Just want to
also.
sweat all the flavor
Just want to
out.
sweat all the flavor
Nice.
out. Yep.
How are you doing over here,
I
Doc?
think I'm doing okay, right?
I think you're doing great.
Not too bad. All right.
It's really hard to peel tiny little beets like that.
It's not easy.
Now, do you like beets? Are you a fan?
I love beets.
Oh,
actually,
good,
really,
because
I
they can
do,
be very
yeah.
polarizing. People either
No,
love them
I
or
love
hate
beets.
them.
They're good in anything, I think. you know.
What types of foods do you like to eat besides beets?
Well, I like to eat anything that tastes good. I'm
Yeah,
very
good
open
answer.
to all kinds of food. But honestly,
too.
Those are our best customers.
Exactly.
yeah, no, seriously, it's like I can eat something very simple that's not at all elaborate, or something very elaborate like chefs making
Right,
today.
sure.
And I can enjoy them all.
What types of foods did you grow up eating?
Well, I spent the first couple of years of my life, or first 10 years of my life, should I say, in England. So it wasn't very good. It was all boiled and
Right.
pretty tasteless.
Mushy peas.
Yeah, and then I lived in India, so where there I learned to eat spicy,
kinds of flavor
all
going
kinds of
on.
flavors. So it's been that, and then so I grew up eating all kinds of different things. Honestly,
Sure.
My parents were very open, and thank goodness I'm not a vegetarian.
Yes.
Honestly, that cuts your options down a lot.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
a lot of better options these days, but
Yeah,
you know,
it is. Yeah, for
it's
sure.
getting better
No
for
doubt.
sure, but still a
Oh,
challenge.
there was a time when if you were a vegetarian, like
Right.
in a restaurant, you couldn't even eat anything.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Indian restaurants are always a great vegetarian
That's a good
option.
option
you know?
for vegetarian.
Lots of
Yes,
great
for
stuff
sure.
there.
Right, yeah.
Now, you like to travel a lot, correct?
I do. Yeah.
What are some of the places you've been to recently that are noteworthy?
I would say I went to Georgia in
The country or the state?
country, the country, Georgia, in Eastern Europe, and Armenia. That was fascinating.
I bet, yeah. Great
And,
food there.
Great food there, very good, and the birthplace of wine, which is
Did not know
another
that.
another favorite of mine. And for me, the reason the travel all ties it together is I like to eat, drink, and take photographs. So
Perfect.
travel works very well.
Definitely. Those are three of my favorite hobbies as well. All right, let me see what the chef's working on
Sure.
over here. So you added the rice. So
So,
you
yeah.
toasted that a little bit?
Yeah, we got the shallots all sweated up, and then we added the rice. And the idea of adding the rice, it's a boreal rice. It's a short grain rice with a really high starch content. So we want to get the rice into the fat, and we want to coat each grain of rice with the fat and toast it so that it becomes almost translucent.
Okay.
And what that'll do is it'll allow the rice to remain al dente while the inside is nice and soft.
Perfect.
So then we added a little bit of white pepper
Okay.
just before we added our white wine. We had
The white wine, that's what I can
Yes.
smell right now.
So
Yeah.
we added the white wine, and the key to risotto is stirring,
Yep.
stirring.
It's what you always hear,
Yep.
right?
You wanna keep stirring it to make sure that each grain of rice absorbs the same amount of liquid and knocks the starch out of the rice, and that'll give you that nice creamy end product.
So you kind of want to just keep it agitated.
Yep.
So to
Keep it
speak.
moving, and then the first addition of liquid will get absorbed pretty quickly because the rice kind of plumps up, and then after that, I have my stock over here warm. You know, it's simmering. You don't want it too hot. If you boil the stock and add it in, the rice is going to cook too quick, and you're going to be left with starchy inside, like a hard inside. If the stock is cold, the rice is going to take too long to cook, and you're going to be left with mushy risotto.
So you've got to go for that Goldilocks,
Yes.
just right temperature.
Yep.
My name is Dr. Sanjiv Agarwala. I'm a medical oncologist and chief of oncology and hematology at St. Luke's Cancer Center. My specialty in cancer is melanoma and treatment with new drugs such as immunotherapy drugs. I am a specialist in treating advanced melanoma, which can be quite a dangerous cancer if it spreads to different organs. My department, under my leadership, brings in a lot of new cancer drugs to St. Luke's and the Lehigh Valley, and we work on improving basically the survival rates for all kinds of cancer, including melanoma.
Risotto's tough. You have to get it that perfect texture, and
Yes.
it can go from a little too al dente to a little too mushy in a matter of minutes.
Yes. But once you get it, like I said, it's super versatile. You can make it heavy for the winter. You can make it
Right.
light for the spring. You can chill it down, make it into cakes and fry them. You know, there's a nice base to
I love
something.
those. Great for leftover risotto.
Absolutely. And your stock you're going to add in, 4 ounces at a time, 6 ounces at a time, and you just want to keep stirring it. Get that rice to absorb all the liquid, nice and creamy at the end.
Now let's talk about Full of Crepe, your restaurant here in the Easton Public Market. Tell me about it.
Full of Crepe is it's a creperie, full line of savory crepes, full line of dessert crepes, breakfast crepes. You were working on a bit of a concept change this year.
Okay.
We're going to expand our breakfast options.
Nice.
We're going to expand our dessert options. We're going to incorporate a lot of salad, sticking with the whole heart healthy thing.
Exactly. And as a doctor, do you advise your patients on eating healthy? Do you like to eat healthy? Is that important to you?
Yeah, it is important. I think, balancing all the different food groups and the
Absolutely.
usual things. I think, for my patients who have cancer, it's also about them eating what they can eat. It's
Totally.
not always what they, so I tell them, whatever you like, it's good. But yes, common sense, eat healthy
Sure.
if you can. And I always believe in this is a great recipe because it has all these vegetables. in
Exactly,
there.
yeah. You said you love beets, so clearly
I do,
you like to
yeah,
eat healthy.
I do, yeah.
I don't know the health benefits of beets, but I do know the watercress.
Oh, really?
Yeah, watercress is actually, the Center for Disease Control has watercress as ranked #1 on there. They have a powerhouse fruit and vegetable
Really?
list. Yeah,
I
it's
didn't know that either. Yeah, neither
yeah.
did I, yeah. That's
It,
right.
Wow.
Watercress
got,
is number
um,
one.
#1, right? You wouldn't
Wow.
think.
I'll have to start eating more
Yeah.
watercress then.
No, it's packed with antioxidants.
Nice.
It's some properties that prevent certain types of cancer. I have no idea what. And then vitamin K, I guess, good
Sure.
for bone density.
Yeah.
Good
Lot
for the
of
blood.
leafy
Good for the
greens.
blood
Yeah.
too.
Good for the
Right,
blood.
okay, yeah.
Nice. So besides Georgia, any other interesting places you've been to? Have you had risotto in Italy?
I have, and there's this place, I guess Venice, there's an island, you might have heard of it, off of Venice, where it's called Burano, I think.
Burano,
they
where,
make
sure.
yeah,
glass.
where
Yep.
risotto
Yeah.
is like, it's stirred
Yep.
all overnight, continuously. But I also read somewhere that you don't need to stir it that long to actually have good risotto, so.
I always have, and I've been to Burano actually, and
Yeah.
in Burano they'll toss it more than stir it.
Yeah,
Ah,
okay.
interesting. So many different techniques.
Sure.
One of the best risottos I had was actually in a hotel in Rome. It was,
really?
A chain hotel, like a Marriott or something.
Wow.
And they said it takes 30 minutes to make, or 45.
So you had to
and it was
order.
awesome.
Like,
You gotta
order
kinda
as
wait
soon
for
as
it?
it's
Yeah,
set.
but you can have some wine while you wait.
Of course. Yeah.
So this is going to finish up. We're going to get our pecorino and our peas into here.
It already looks so creamy.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. So we're going to get the rest of the stock in there. So the ratio for risotto, different than white rice. It's 3-to-1. So
Oh,
1
okay.
cup of risotto, 3 cups of stock will yield about 4 servings.
You need that extra liquid in there to make
Yes.
it nice and creamy.
Yep.
Great.
And then to finish this off, I have these are just fresh peas that were
Beautiful.
blanched in salted water and then dropped in ice water to kind of shock.
Perfect for spring.
Yep.
Love seeing fresh peas this time of year.
We all wait for the fiddleheads.
Yeah, right? The radishes, the asparagus. I'm so excited
Absolutely.
for spring. I should point out too that we are in the Easton Public Market, so if you hear some noises and different things in the background, the market is alive and happening out there. There's people getting meals and shopping for their groceries. It's really just such a fun place to be at.
It is.
Yeah, and it kind of ramps up in the morning, but come lunchtime, it's really bustling.
Yeah,
It's
it's out of control.
Good market.
Yeah, for sure.
And we got about a half a cup of grated Pecorino Romano. We're going to add to that.
Okay, some
then-
nice sharp sheep's milk salted cheese.
Yep. And then we're just going to let that sit for a bit.
All right, great.
Melanoma can be quite tricky to actually diagnose or pick up, and the best advice I give people is that everybody has at least one, usually more, moles on their body, and a change in a mole or a new spot on the skin that might be basically changing over time or itching or bleeding should be brought to the attention of a doctor. The best way to prevent melanoma is to use sunscreen. That's the easiest way to protect yourself from the sun, the strong rays of the sun, usually between 10 a.m. and noon. But to mostly have common sense, in that when you have shade, go find shade, cover up, know your risk for melanoma. So if you're high risk, you obviously got to be more careful, and to be screened. And by screening, I mean check your own skin out at least once a month. And if you've ever had a melanoma or are prone to one or a family history, get yourself checked by a dermatologist or a family doctor at least every 6 months.
And then on to our scallops.
Yes, these are beauties right here. What size are these?
Yes, these are U10s.
Nice.
So it means that there's under 10 per pound.
And I should mention that you are also the chef and owner of Third and Ferry.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Third and Ferry. We're a seafood restaurant located right here in Easton, on the corner of Third and Ferry.
So clever.
We primarily seafood, really extensive oyster list. We keep a variety of 8 on at all times.
Nice.
And they change day to day. They change week to week.
That's great.
I have some clarified butter over here. Just let the oven to keep
Okay.
it warm. So we're going to use a heavy bottom pan, an oil that doesn't smoke too much, and we're just going to get it in and not touch it for about 2 minutes. You want to get a really nice crust on the outside, and the inside is going to stay nice and creamy.
Awesome. So they're going to get beautiful and
Beautiful.
caramelized on the outside. Now, if you didn't have clarified butter, could you use oil?
Peanut oil if you don't have any allergies.
Okay.
Grapeseed oil is great. You would want to stay away from like an extra virgin olive oil or an olive oil.
Something with a higher smoke point.
Yeah. So
It's great to get the flavor of the butter.
absolutely.
For sure.
So we're going to let our oil get hot, and we're going to season these a little bit of salt. So now these have been dried. So this is a dry scallop.
Explain what a dry scallop is.
sure.
A lot of people don't know the difference.
Sure. So
You know the difference,
scallops.
Scott?
I don't.
Scallops are pretty perishable. So a lot of companies will, thank you. A lot of companies will soak them in a brine, which will extend their shelf life, but it adds water to the scallops when you do go to sear it.
Right.
The water leaks out. You don't really get a good sear because you're more steaming the scallop than searing it.
So dry scallop's really important then, if you're
Dry
especially if
scallops
you're
are
going
really
for that
important.
sear.
Yeah. I mean, these are day boat scallops. All that means is that the boats go out, they come in the same day, real easy. So when you're getting these into the pan, we're going to get them down in the oil, season side down. You want to keep at least an inch in between each one
All
so
right.
that they don't overcrowd. If
Give
they
them a little breathing room.
Yep. If they overcrowd, again, you're going to steam them more
Yeah,
than sear them.
they'll
And
release
it's going
more
to
of
be
that
hard to get
liquid.
that crust.
Right.
And
Well, they
then
look great so far.
while they're in, we're going to season the other side.
Okay.
It's also fascinating. I mean, really.
Right? For a
I
guy
didn't know
who
day boat
doesn't cook.
scallops, but because the day boat goes out and comes back. That's
Yep. Yeah, so day boat scallops, the boat goes out, comes back the same day.
Yeah.
Diver scallops are different. Diver scallops, just how they're harvested. So diver scallops, they'll actually dive for them and pick them by hand.
Do you find there's a difference in the quality between like a day boat scallop and a diver scallop?
Not really. The difference really is it's more sustainability. So the diver scallops, it's a short season,
Okay.
but they have the ability to pick and choose what they're going to. You did wonderfully. I'm just taking.
I wasn't sure. I got better over time, but
Yeah, they have the ability to pick and choose what they're going to pull out of the water. So
Sure.
if there's a scallop that's fully mature, they can take that. If there's one that's not, they can leave it to be
Okay.
harvested at a later date. So while those are searing, so a scallop of that size, it's going to be about 2 minutes on the one side and then 1 minute on the other side.
Okay, and
Real
does that
easy.
cook them all the way through, or does that leave them just a little under inside?
It cooks them all the way through, but they're just nice and creamy all the way through.
So it
Scallops
makes them
get tough
perfect.
real quick.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So we're going to slice these beets
So you're just slicing those super thin.
nice and thin, and you can see
I love
they
that.
have that nice candy cane look to them. And again, these beets, good salad beets, good. You can cook them, you can eat them raw, you can do whatever you like with them.
Awesome. Now, could you do this with a mandolin?
Sure.
Or something if you were
You do it with a
not
mandolin.
that
You
confident
can do it with
in
a
your
peeler.
knife skills? A peeler's a great idea.
Sure.
Now, are these beets something that are only in season a certain time of year, or can you get them all year round?
Now you can get pretty much anything all year
Yeah.
round. Yeah. These funny the watercress and the peas are actually harder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they typically don't come out until the weather warms up a little bit.
I see. Yeah, I don't see watercress at my market very often.
No. So
Yeah,
watercress,
Yeah.
watercress along with the health benefits, really great flavor, nice and peppery.
Very peppery, yeah.
Actually pairs really well with oysters.
Nice.
Now, St. Luke's has been involved in a lot of large clinical trials with new drugs for melanoma, and the survival rates now are 5 times that. So yes, we've been very involved with new clinical trials and new drugs for melanoma, often using the immune system, which is very interesting, that you use your own immune system to fight the cancer. Well, the St. Luke's Network is not only a great place to work and have your treatment, but I think one of the biggest advantages is that we are part of the community. We have multiple hospitals and clinics where patients can seek care. So instead of you having to come to us, we can come to you and make life easier for you if you need treatment for cancer. Plus, we specialize in multiple types of cancer, including melanoma, provide you the best care and have cutting-edge clinical trials.
Well, actually, let's see you flip these scallops.
Yep. So we're just
They
gonna
look great.
turn those, and they have
Nice.
a perfect crust on the outside.
So you didn't shimmy or shake those. You didn't touch
No.
them at all once you put them in the pan.
No, you don't want to. You want to leave them. You just want to leave them sit, do their thing.
Oh, they look perfect. Look at that caramelization.
They look great.
It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. All right, well, you work on a couple other things. I'm going to grab some wine. Now, this is a local Pinot Grigio from Tolino Vineyards. And it's pretty awesome to have a really great local winery right here in the Lehigh Valley. Now, being a wine enthusiast yourself, are you familiar with
Toledo?
this
Yes,
vineyard?
I've been there, yeah. It's very good, yeah.
So I'll open this up and then we can all have ourselves a little taste.
That's great.
Now, what types of wines do you usually gravitate towards? Is it the same as food? If it's
Well,
good,
it depends
you like
on
it?
what I'm eating.
Right.
But in summer, nothing better than a nice rosé from France. I love
Sure.
those, or even locally made. But I like Sauvignon Blancs a lot if it's white. And then if you're having a real good meat dish, Cabernet Sauvignon, of course. But
Absolutely.
Pinot Noirs are great as well. So.
Sure. So you don't really discriminate.
No, once again, all kinds of wine, all kinds of food.
Now, do you have an extensive wine cellar at your house?
I have, many bottles, but not really a cellar I used to.
Okay.
But, it's a few racks that I store them in the basement and try to keep them at the right temperature.
Nice.
Go through them as fast as I can.
Any bottles to brag about?
Oh, I have a couple of Camas, and
Nice.
I do have a Chateau Lafite one sitting there. I don't know when I'm going to open it, but but like that, honestly, for me, wine is about getting something that's very reasonably priced and very
Sure.
good, and maybe even unknown.
And just enjoying it.
Enjoying it. Yeah.
I love that. Well, this is a new wine for me. You guys have both tried it before, but I'm really excited to taste it.
Tolino's wonderful.
Yeah.
They do really well here at the market.
Thank you.
They do a lot of
Welcome.
events at their vineyard as well.
They do, yeah.
That's so fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, it's great.
Very tasty. I think that's going to pair
Yeah.
beautifully
It'll go really
with
well
this
with
dish
this.
as
It'll go
well.
With this, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to try them together.
Okay. So this is all ready to go. We're
Ready
just
to
gonna-
plate
we're
up?
gonna plate up. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So you added some cheese to that risotto, but there was no butter, no cream.
No
So
butter,
it's
no
really
cream.
light.
This is really light. I mean, in keeping with the heart-healthy aspect.
And this dish is going to be featured on your menu at 3rd and Ferry?
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. We'll probably do it in a couple of weeks.
Now this isn't something that you would serve it full of crepe, is it?
No.
Because there's no crepe on it.
There's no crepe on it, no.
Maybe if you took the risotto and the scallop and wrapped it up in a crepe, then
We
you
could.
could
I mean,
try it.
seafood crepes are delicious.
I've got ideas all day. You just asked me.
We are going to be, we'll be incorporating a lot of salads that are full of crepe in,
Nice.
In the near future.
Great, we love that.
Yes.
Such a beautiful dish.
It really is.
It really just screams spring to me too, not just in the contents, but just
Colors all
the
come together
appearance.
so nicely.
Yeah. Cheers! It was wonderful having you
Cheers.
both on the show
Fantastic.
today. This was so
Thank
much
you.
fun.
It was really fun, and I learned a lot actually, so it's great.
As did I. Now let's dig into some watercress
tasty.
for our hearts. Get
You
in
go-
there,
no,
Doc.
you go first,
Come on.
yeah. All right.
There's plenty of scallops to go
Yes,
around.
indeed. Oh, that's so good.
They're perfectly
They
cooked.
really are. Wow.
It's so light, but still so
That's
flavorful. Well, cheers to both of you
Cheers.
again.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
having you
It was
guys on
great
the
fun.
show today.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
coming
much.
and representing St. Luke's,
My
and thanks,
pleasure.
of
Thank
course, for doing what you do.
Of course.
Great as always. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love coming to Chef Kitchen. You know, being on TV it kind of gets you out of the kitchen for a little bit, so it's something different. It's a lot of fun. You know, everybody that's involved is super professional. A lot of fun to be around. You know, meeting the doctors is great. Get to learn a little bit about what's in the food that we're cooking and how it can help you out. It's always nice.
Is that an island?